Hi, it's Beverly Cole, but you can call me Bev. Today, I'm going to be working on a collage made with textures. I have this Vogue magazine that I got for free, but I also, at home in Florida, I have a subscription that I got that just came through. I was able to purchase 4 different magazines for $2 per subscription. And I was so thrilled because that's a really good price for a whole subscription of magazines. So I was able to pick out like Birds and Blooms, I picked out Vogue, I picked out a decor magazine, things that I thought would be good to use for collage. That was my main objective. So in this one, being Vogue, you know you're gonna get a lot of bases, you're gonna get a lot of funky colors in the background, you're gonna get some ideas for use of like different layouts, different designs. So today I'm going to be looking for textures. So right here in this one, and you know, it's a little tricky. You got to make sure there's nothing on the other side that you want, right? I mean, look at that beautiful face. So I'm going to rip these out here, but this one is really great. So I'm going to take that one. Then I flipped through before and I found some other things. Let's see, look at these faces. So colors, we've done this before. We've looked through a magazine together. Look at this. That's just makeup and the beautiful face. Lady Gaga. So colors, textures. This is cool, right? I'm gonna rip that out for a texture. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And this is just fun to look at some of these wild pictures and layouts. And look at these colors. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, so today we're doing textures. So I went through, look at this one. So that is a definite yes. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Those are Swarovski crystals, but I'm not really interested in what they are, but what they look like. Here's some pretty texture here. I'll take that one. J'adore Dior, yeah. Look at that texture. There's different ideas. There's a beautiful texture. And now, for instance, look at this one with this one, okay? Check that out. We got this, and then we have this. Yeah, so different textures. That's our aim today. So I'm gonna pick through here. Craziness, crazy stuff. I thought I put one other one on the side. Yes. So this texture is very cool, but it's also a design. Okay. And then this one. I like this black and white one here. So let's start with those. Okay. Okay. So you've got these textures. I'm going to do my ripping, get my ruler out. My favorite ruler with the metal edge, but it's also got this edge here. So that's what I'm going to use. So I'm going to just rip out the texture areas. Check the other side. Yeah, there's no texture there. So I'm going to just, and I've discovered that ripping across is easier, but because of the way this is laid out, well, I think I'll just cut it like that. Why not, right? Very easy peasy. And then this one, well, I'm gonna just have fun ripping this one up in different ways. I could leave it as one, but I'm thinking I want to play with it in different way. Oops, I didn't check the other side. Yeah, that's got some cool stuff too. But gotta make a choice, one or the other. This is very cool. Look at that. And then we have this. And we have these. Nice. This pattern, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, what's on the other side? Okay. Let me rip out the dress. I'm gonna save this face for later when we do one with faces. She's got a neat face. So pretty. Even the necklace is cool. All right. And then this one, Swarovski. I'm just gonna take that. Oops, what's on the other side? Just cut the Swarovski lid off, and we've got a complete sheet of usable texture. And then this one, Dior. Haven't we all seen the commercials? J'adore Dior. Oh, there she is. There she is. What is her name? It'll come to me. Anyway, yeah. Did you see her in that Alien movie? I can't remember the name of that either. Oh my goodness, my brain is just shot. Okay, so maybe that's why I can make such cool stuff, because my brain is shot. All right, so here, I'm gonna use that. I just want this pink. I just love that pink. You know, so sometimes the pieces aren't big, but they're cool, right? Cool. I want that texture. Just want some beautiful textures today. This one, I might have to use that as a base because there's a lot of, you know, going here and there, but it's not a full page of texture. So let's see, we might use that as a base, even though it's not a cover. We can fix that. That's not a big deal. And there's that beautiful face. Oh well, there's a lot of beautiful faces in this magazine. So I'm gonna throw away, I know it's not fun to throw away, but these are the extra pieces I cut off that don't really do anything for me. My RV, you know, my fifth wheel, and I've got this table. I removed my computer so I can work here. It's not too hard. Just pick it up and move it over to near my coffee maker on the side there. Once again, we're going to do a collage, but this time with textures. And I just love these textures. So this is my base. We're going to do some beautiful, beautiful textures. And the first one I have is the Swarovski one. Okay, we're just going to rip across. And this time I'm going to do it in some strips with my ruler. I can vary the widths. I can vary the lengths. And if you're ripping a small piece, put the small piece under your ruler, press hard, and then rip the bigger piece so that you have this nice little piece. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I wanna leave some of these textures, so I'm just gonna glue where I want the paper to be. Like this. Come on. Like this. And then I'm going to use my ruler to rip off where I want to see other texture, right there. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it today. So let's take another piece of this beautiful black, and I'm ripping across because I can and because it rips so nicely. Rip a bunch of these, and they don't have to be all strips. You could do some different shapes. I'm going to do some squares. Okay, and we're going to add some of that. So we can combine these beautiful textures. And I think I need a piece here. Cover up that white. Let's just do that. Okay, so we're going to get a beautiful sheet of textures. What else do we have? Let's do some of this. And you can do this with any kind of magazine. It doesn't have to be a fashion magazine. It just happens that this is the one I have, and it really does have some beautiful designs in it. Textures. And they just work for me. So fit them in. Just fit them in. No big deal. No stress. You don't have to cover every single inch, but I can always go back later and find little pieces that will fit. See, I got this and I have this. So I'm saving my little pieces. See, like right here, this piece, I can always tear, press hard, And you get this really nice little piece that I can fit somewhere else, like up here. So it's no stress, it's just fun filling in, just fill in the spots. And you want it to be varied. Let's try some of this one. This is a large print, you got some tiny textures, so the variety really does help. See, let's do, seems like we got some angles here. Try some more angles. Let's try some angles. I'm gonna take this little piece and put it, Yeah, I like to tear. What can I tell you? Even when I have scissors, it's like, nah, let's just tear. Or a ruler, let's just tear, right? No big deal. All right, so I need a piece in there. I'm just gonna go for it. Okay, there. Use my ruler. Press down and tear off so that I have that angle. Okay. Look at the textures. Very cool. I love it. I'm not even worried about colors. I'm just thinking textures. So now I can put some more, I think, of the beautiful pink. Yeah, I like that there. That's good. You know, and just because I'm working this way doesn't mean you couldn't jump all over this, put your favorites here and there, and then go in and fill it in. It's totally up to you how you approach this. The main objective is to cover this page with texture. That's the main objective. Here's some more of that black. I think let's go this way. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, right there. Well, my husband's working on the door. I apologize for the slamming if you hear it. Our screen door, our door is giving us a problem. I think we have to order a new one. It's not gonna be cheap. But you know, having an RV is like having a house. Things go wrong, you gotta replace them. Life goes on. Okay, so let's do this. So, you know, don't stress. If they don't fit perfectly together, you just patch it in later. Okay, see, like right here, I got that. That's okay. Put some more of this bit over here. So I'm gonna jump all the way over here. And you're gonna see how I rip these apart to get those background colors. Just start it here, a little bit of an angle, press and rip, okay, right there. Now we're gonna put the ruler here, and then we have that little bit there. So you've seen how here I'm working from the corner out, here I'm working from the strip down. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you're doing it and having fun. That's the main objective. Okay, so now we've got these really cool lines that will direct your eye. Oh yeah, right there. Did you see that? That's pretty cool. I'm gonna just add it right here, down here, and end it there. Okay, so I'm gonna start it there. Then I have no glue here, so I'm gonna just rip that. I think I need to do a little bit more ripping or just folding back. Yeah, you can fold it back. Just crunch it up and fold it. I do that sometimes, so I'm gonna do that. It gives you more texture, more layers, it doesn't matter. So there, how's that, all right? Really nice. I'm going to move this, I'm gonna shift it so that it's filling in here. Sorry about that, that's just how life is right now. So I'm gonna put some pink here. See, I'm just skipping over all of these backgrounds. And then I lay this in. And then we start tearing where we want to. So I'm gonna tear. Let's glue that down. I'm gonna tear it here. Try folding it first to see if that works better. Okay, right there. Then I don't want it glued all the way down. I want to lift it and I want to cut it. So I'll rip it. I'm going to tear it here. The substrate piece is not all one color where I can just place them any old place. These have a lot of white, so we want to cover the white. I'm just showing you another way to do it. Hi, Jay. Now you can go see what Daddy's doing out the window. Go see what Daddy's doing out the window. This piece up here. What do you think, Jay? Pretty cool? Okay, and then we're just gonna rip, I don't know, maybe let's try this over here. Now I'm looking and I have some of that back there, but I also have this other stuff. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna glue that there. And then, let's see what else we have back here. We'll rip this off. What's that, JJ? Oh, Jay. Oh, wait a second. He loves paper. He ended up getting a piece. He'll be all right. Okay. So what do I want? Oh, see the little bit of color? I want to save that. So I'm going to do this. So we're leaving those fanciful colors. That's Mama's. Thank you. Leave those fancy colors in the background. Okay. Now you can walk away from this and look at it from far away, which I'm going to do right now as soon as I glue this down. Ooh, there's some more color. All right, let's just leave that color too. Yeah, so Bold Magazine, lots of colors and patterns. Just rip this little piece off here. Okay, now I'm going to move away from it. I'm going to look at it from far away and see what it looks like to me. Lots of movement, and I want to direct the movement. It's just a, it's just a fun thing to try. See how you can put the lines around your background design. Find something as a background, that you're like, well, I need to fill that in, or, I want to add to that, and then do it. It's just an experiment. We're just playing and having fun. And I'm going to do this along this edge here. Press my ruler in there. There we go. So we're filling this in with some lines that will direct our eye around this composition. I know, JJ, I know you like to play. He's my playmate. There we go. You can have that piece. I'm just going to take it and go, bye. Of course, we might decide to rip this apart. That's always an option. Hey, with me, you never know. Oh yeah, this is getting torn apart. This is getting torn apart. And like I said, if you go back and you're like, I need more color in one area, then just add it. That's the great thing with collaging. It's just layers, so you can change up the layers. Oh, I'm making a mess down this end. Wow, Bev. Okay, let's fix this, although it doesn't really matter. But I'm a little bit anal about edges. I just love edges to be neat. I don't know why, but that's just me. So I'm gonna add a little bit of pink down there. And then instead of ripping it, I'm gonna use my scissors and just cut it. I have to turn it over to see it easier. Cut it off at the edge there. There's our piece. I'm gonna add a few more things. I love these. They look like fish scales. And there's some up here. So I want to put some down here because I like that orange underneath. So I'm going to leave that there and leave that there. Now I have these. So I'm going to glue this spot with some more of this muted texture. So I'm rubbing it where I want it, and then I'm going in and seeing where I can tear it off. Looks like I'm leaving that, but I really don't want to, do I? Nope, we're gonna rip this off here. So this is just the technique of gluing only where you want it and then ripping off the unglued areas so that you can show what's underneath. The more edges you tear off, the less it looks like you just took it out of a magazine, But it doesn't matter. Whatever makes you happy. This just happens to make me happy to rip these little edges off or to peel them back. Okay, so you know where we're going with this. You know where we're going, right? You bet. We're making collages. we're gonna make tiny collages. So I wanna fill in some of these spots because when you, I don't know, when we rip them up, it might be nice to have a little bit more going on. Ooh, this piece I didn't use. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so let's put some up here in this triangle. Okay, we're gonna just take this, like this. Oh, fun. And find out where my end is and press and tear. We'll put a little bit more over here. I like to put it in like 3 spots. Don't keep your eye moving. And 3 is a nice number. So, you know, if you have stuff in 3 places, 1, 2, and I'm gonna put one down here, to move your eye around. So I think it looks interesting. So what we're gonna do is cut this apart, and then of course we can add more if we want to. I got some new product. They are called Uni Posca pens, and these are their pastel colors. There's some pink and oh, look at the colors. They're like the colors that are in this. Of course, it's very colorful, but I think I want to use some of this color, or maybe not. I'm looking again, and I think the color that I don't have that much of is more like this. Okay, so these are made in Japan. You gotta get them going. So we're gonna press. Let's see, press on a piece of something else and get it going until you can see the color coming into the tip. See it? There you go. Okay, so this is like a blue, or it is a blue. It's like a, looks like a periwinkle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my left hand because I don't really want to be too much in control of it. And I'm just going to add some textures in some of the plain areas. You can also do, you know, more of a controlled. If that, you know, if you're kind of stressed out and you're like, no, that's too hard and I'm gonna mess it up, you can't really. Don't worry about it. We're gonna put some to keep our eye moving around the page, and then what other color? Maybe some yellow. We have a little tiny bit of yellow. So now I'm just gonna take this pen. Let's get it going like the other one. Okay, and I'm just gonna do some yellow, 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 yellow. Stripes of yellow here. Just another texture, and then a little bit here. Yeah, I'm working in 3s. I like to work in 3s. Okay, so we added a little, not too much. And then maybe some of this beautiful color right here. I'm gonna use some of that one. Get that one going. Sorry for my inky fingers. I was doing tie-dye with kids, and I don't like to wear gloves. So I'm just gonna do some dots. So you can use textures, easy peasy textures. And the magazine will allow you to do that, it will. And what I like to do with my dots is triangles, complete triangles. So here's a triangle, now I'll put another one here. That makes another triangle, see, and there's another triangle. You just keep completing triangles and you get a nice pattern. That's enough. Now it looks pretty busy, doesn't it? Okay, so those are my Posca pens that I got. They're so much fun. Taking my bigger pieces because I'm crazy. When you take the time to rip them out, save them. Do something else with them. Make something. Look at the back of that one. Now that's some cool texture, right? Oh man, I think I need to use that. I'm gonna stick them up there. Yep, like that. And now we can move on to the next thing, which is cutting them apart. So we take this beautiful collage, which we could have left because I talked to you about the repeating of colors and things like that, and movement and design and composition. So you could have left it, but no. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I'm ripping it up. Just full, oopsie. All right, so that's what happens when you rip instead of cutting. But that's okay. We're doing this as an experiment, right? We want to see what happens. Let's try folding. I'm gonna make a narrow one, I think. Let's try folding and tearing and pressing. I gotta remember to press. But because these are glued together, they're not wanting to rip as neatly. So, I don't know. I don't know. So now we have all of these. Okay, so let's just glue. I'm not even gonna think about it anymore. I'm just gonna glue. Okay, I'm just gonna glue. Just gonna glue them. Okay, let's cut it in half. It's just too much. Okay, we'll match this one up in this corner. And then I'm gonna put one, oh yeah, we're gonna put one this direction. Do you see that? Okay, so it's gonna change the whole composition because we're going to turn some pieces but not others. Okay, so there's one that's turned, and I wanna make sure I get it where it's covering up the background. You might have to do a little gluing, that's all right, okay. Then this one, let's try a different one. All right, so we'll start here. Interesting, wait a second. Sure, why not? Or here, let's just keep going down the side. So we're changing the line direction. Got some more movement, different way. I'm sorry if I keep losing you guys. I'll put it up here. Can you see it now? Gosh, my camera just moves and moves and moves. Now we got a long skinny one. I could put that one down here, or I could do it here. Rip it. I don't want to think too hard. I'm starting to, you know, sometimes you start getting too in your head, and then it messes you up. So don't even worry about it. Just start gluing these, and we're gonna glue them in a kind of like a grid, and it's a loose grid. It's not like, oh no, that's bigger than that one and I can't do that. No. And it's so funny how some of the things end up being right next to each other that weren't there before. Here, this is where I put it first, so that's where I'm going, right here. And it just, look at how the lines have picked up from each other. Very cool. All right, so I'm not leaving all of that. I'm gonna rip it here, which I meant to rip up here. So I had the ruler in the wrong place. Yeah, this is where I wanted to rip. Okay. All right, so we're getting kind of a grid, and it's kind of exciting to me. We might end up with something smaller than it was. And that's okay too. That is okay. So we're gonna do this one with, let's see, what do we have? Yellow? With some yellow here. So I'm approaching it in a totally different way. I'm approaching it as kind of like a grid. Some pieces going across, some pieces going up and down. Here is a long piece of orange, and I think it would look really great here. Why not? Let's just put it here. Look at those lines back there, but they're kind of cool. I might just leave those. These gray lines, they're neat. And when I do this, it also gives me other ideas. For instance, I am I'm doing art classes, craft. They're more art than craft, but they're calling them a craft class here at the campground, Lake George Escape. And I always looking for new ideas to make it more fun and interesting. Not that we'll do this exact thing, but we could do it with other things. You know, you could do it with pieces of any kind of paper. It could be papers that they scribble on themselves and then they just mix them all up. Something like that. And we can still see the movement. Put this one up here, but it needs to go across because I'm trying to do the grid. So I don't want to put two long pieces. That one went across, this one can go down. Think first of all this. And as I finish, I can see where, you know, it's leaving me spots where I can put other pieces. I'll turn this one. Oops, the side of the glue stick, silly, not the back. All right, so you're just kind of playing. You're layering and then cutting up and layering again. It's really fun. And I've got some more of that blue. Blue. I'm a blue. Ain't these tears in these eyes telling you? This one here. And put this one across here. I'm going to end it down here. So it's a few inches shorter where we overlapped, but that's okay. Now I'm going to cut this off right there. Perhaps I can use a bit of this. You know, I could just leave there and cut the whole bottom off, but I'm thinking maybe use this piece again somewhere. Okay, so this is going to end here. along this line where we folded it. Okay, so there is our beautiful collage. Just need a little there. There's always a little bit more that we can do. And there we have it. Check that out. Isn't it great? We used one magazine. Find yourself a magazine and do this. So what I want to do now is make little collages out of it, because I love my baby collages. But before I do that, I know, take away some of the texture, and I'm going to use some gesso. Not a lot, but some gesso. If you don't have gesso, just water down some white paint or use a dry brush on white paint. What I like about gesso is it has a texture, and I love texture. So I'm going to use a junky brush. We've talked about these before. They are 100% pure bristle, but they are also cheap, and I got them at Harbor Freight in a box, a bunch of them. So I'm just going to like white out the background, make it all one. And I'm working on a big pad paper. This is like the old math paper we had in school. I'm aging myself, but I don't know what they use now. They probably use a computer. But we used to get a little piece of it's about the size of a half of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And we'd have a pencil that did not have an eraser. And we would do our math on this kind of paper. Yeah, they gave you a pencil with no eraser because they didn't want you erasing. They wanted you to leave the work there so they could see. I'm sure this is the reason, to see what you did. You know, how your mind was working, or well, they weren't really interested in how your mind was working. It was how you did the work. And I guess what it would be is that they could check back and see what kind of mistakes you made as you worked. I don't know. I'm sure teachers didn't have time to go through all that kind of psychological stuff and figure out how you were thinking through your process of your math problem. But for any reason what, we didn't have erasers. I don't know why. Anybody know? Tell me in the comments, because I don't know. But every Christmas, we would get a pencil from the local bank that had an eraser. But we weren't allowed to use it in school. We had to take it home. So crazy. Because, you know, we used to have savings accounts. You used to get a little savings book. And every week, if you wanted to, you could add money to it. So it was a little bit of teaching you how to save. But, you know, your mom and dad, depending on how they worked it, I think my mother ended up emptying mine and using it. I never saw any of that money. Or they'd give you a quarter book with little holes for quarters, and you could fill it up. Yeah, so you had this little bank book and you had a little quarter book. Then, I hope you're enjoying this conversation, we would get $5 from the school district, I guess. $5 to buy a new game that we could play when it rained outside instead of going to recess. So for $5 back in the day, when I was a kid, they could buy a whole game. Like we used to love Park and Shop, or, you know, Life. Different, I don't even know if Life existed. Monopoly, you know, different games. So we'd have those in the closet, and then we played games. Okay, so this gesso just helped me to pull all of that together, right? Look at that. So we have a really cool piece of background. And I'm gonna do some stitching on this background before I cut it up. Remembering that I have a lady that's asked me twice now to do something on envelope. I actually have no envelopes that are left over from mail because I don't get my mail here. And so I'm going to use these envelopes that I talked about in another video to do the collage on the envelope. The sewing I'm going to do needs to be done first because I want to be able to attach this to the envelope. And what I'm going to do is make a little booklet out of 2 envelopes. I'm going to glue this one. I'm going to tuck this one inside here. And I'm going to glue this one to the back, which will give us a little book with 2 pockets. Right now, I'll glue these together, but we won't see this because this will be the cover. And I'm not sure this is exactly what she was looking for. If you're watching this video, let me know in the comments if I did it the way you were thinking, because it's kind of hard to tell from, if we talked on the phone, I'm sure I could get the answer correctly and you would be able to explain to me what you're looking for. But I think this is going to be really cute. And this is something that you could use for, you know, just a card to someone, and you've made it yourself. You can put a little message inside here. Well, we're going to cover it with this, but because I want to keep the pockets, I'm going to do the sewing first. Sorry if it's shaky, but I'm at my sewing machine and I'm using black thread, and I have white thread in my bobbin because I don't have any extra bobbins. I got some, but I don't know where I put them. I got them at the thrift store. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to start here. I'm going to back up a little, and then I'm just going to go meandering. Meandering. With paper, you can do that. It's just so easy. So I'm getting a nice meandering stitch. It's really fun. I'm just turning my paper and sewing. So even if you don't know how to sew, if you've got a sewing machine available, you can do this. It's so easy. So easy and so fun. Get it? So fun. really fun. If you get stuck, you can just bend your paper. There, I got stuck a little, went off the edge, but that's okay. It's all an experiment, you know, it's all fun. So I'm just experimenting, trying the sewing, trying the gesso, and then I'm going to stop here. Okay, so let's see what we have. Okay, so here we are. This is what I sewed. I'm just going to cut these strings off over here. You could leave them for sure, doesn't matter. So you can see here on this side better, because I used the white thread, you can see the meandering stitch that I did. So now we have that, which adds to our collages, right? So we're going to take these and we're going to glue them to these envelopes. Easy peasy again. I'm just going to glue, and you can use another kind of glue. This is just a glue stick, and I'm going to use that on the whole thing, but then I'm also going to add some of the glitter glue that I have, if I can find it, here it is, so that it won't peel off. The glue stick helps to hold it in place right away, and you can slide it around to get it where you want it. It's very helpful. But to help it really stick, we're going to use this. And you could even leave one side of these open and make extra pockets, but I'm not going to do that today. So I can see where I get up to my edges, right? All the way up to the edge, press it on really great. So you could add this to anything. You could add it to an envelope. You could add it to a page in a journal. You could add it to just cardstock and make cards out of it. It's all your personal collage, your work. It's beautiful. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so now it's stitched, but it's also still a pocket. So then I'm going to put another one on here. Why not? Make it like a book. So I was able to slide it around with the glue stick. And glue stick use is something that is really come into the journal making quite a bit now. It's people are really using a lot of glue stick, which is rather surprising to me. But now that I use it myself, whoops, I forgot to put this glue. I see how it works. It just helps you to be able to move things around, especially if you're using something like double-sided tape. If you put the glue under the double-sided tape, it won't grab right away. So you can kind of, it gives you a little wiggle room. It gives you a little time. So I'm going to use this. Look at this, got the stitching. I love it. All right, so we measure that up to the edges, and you can leave a little space if you want to in between for your hinge. Okay. And then I'm just going to trim. Now you can see here I have a little extra, and that's okay. I'm just going to have to cut that off. Make sure I have it all the way to the edge. See, this is where the glue comes in handy. You want to move it. Move it, move it, move it. There we go. There, and now I can trim off the extra. Careful that you don't cut off your hinge, though. You don't want to cut off the envelope where it's hinged. Right there, that's your hinge. Now another thing that you can do to this is you can add an extra piece. Add probably about a, I don't know, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever, to that. It can be whatever you want. And this is just to show you that you can use these for more than just the little collages. We made collages, we ripped them up, cut them up, made them into strips, reattached them, and now we're making this hinge on this book that we covered with those collages after we sewed them on the sewing machine. So it's just playing. You know, it's not like you have to do every step that I'm doing, but I'm giving you some suggestions of how to use your magazines. I'm going to fold over to make my hinge. No big deal. I see I need a little glue here to glue that over again. And you can always add more gesso too to make things all one again. You can do that. You never put gesso down the drain. Don't ever put gesso down the drain. And it doesn't even have to be the same width. It doesn't have to be. You know, I like wonky. And then I like straight edges, so go figure. Now I decide what, ooh, I can see already which one I like the best, and it's this one right here. This is my front. So open this up. There's my envelopes. Now, you can make things out of this to tuck into your envelope. You can paint your envelope. Lots of things you can do. This is what I'm showing you so far to make a cover for this little envelope pocket thing. And you've got a hinge. It's all got to dry. You can take your ruler and go like this down the edge, you know, make sure you get it nice and tight, the hinge, I mean. Let it dry, and then you can open it. Of course, you can also use it this way and use it to put things in. You can use this to just put extra, what we call fodder. Fodder is anything that you use in a collage. Here's my little collages that I made in my other video. You can use these, you can cut them apart, you can tuck them in here, and you could keep them in there for when you want to make something with them. You can also add lace to the edge of this. Look how pretty that would look. So lots of different things. Let me know in the comments what kind of things you're going to use this for. Tell me what you could add to this. Give me suggestions of what to put inside and how to finish the inside. And we will finish the inside in the next video, okay? See you then, bye.